Hi, this is Balance TV, and today I am joined by Ella, the founder of Deliciously Ella. Today we're going to be speaking about how Ella turned her blog into a thriving food business. If you could describe your brand in 3 words, how would you best describe it?
I think community is really the first thing. Deliciously Ella started as a really personal thing, and I started sharing with people, and it's always been a really kind of real two-way conversation, and the community is what makes it what it is. So that's definitely number 1. I hope delicious. I know it's in the title, but I hope that would be number 2, and that's really my biggest aim, because I think that's the biggest misconception, that healthier food and plant-based food is boring and it's not abundant, and it needs to be abundant and vibrant and delicious and rich and just completely satisfying and amazing. Third one is positive. I hope it's a positive space for people, a positive tool in people's lives. That's what I really want it to be, and hope that to be a reflection of.
So I guess so many people are really interested to know how the kind of journey all began for you. So could you tell us a bit about how Deliciously Ella came into being?
Well, yeah, it's a super long story, so I'm going to try and condense it so I don't send you all to sleep. But I, after my second year at university, I got very unwell with something that affected my autonomic nervous system. And I spent about 4 months in and out of different hospitals having tons and tons of tests, and I was then diagnosed with this thing called postural tachycardia syndrome. And I hit a real rock bottom about a year later, and I realised, like, as much as I kind of stopped caring about myself, I was making people around me who did still care, like my mum, really unhappy. And I didn't want to do that, and so I thought, okay, well, you know, what else can you do to try and help yourself? And because I was having loads of stomach problems as part of this, and really low energy, I was quite interested in food and diet and lifestyle, and I started researching it. It wasn't an area that I knew anything about or had ever really had an interest in before this. And I was really inspired by loads of stories I read of people, and I thought, well, you know, if it worked for you, it might work for me, that's worth a try. And so I decided I would change the way I ate, but I couldn't cook. And I didn't know what healthy food was. I had certainly never heard of almond milk or quinoa, and I'd never eaten kale or any of the rest of it. And so, and a girlfriend of mine said, well, you should do it as a blog. So this was in 2012, when blogging was still kind of relatively new. And so I started a WordPress site, which is called Deliciously Ella. And I started sharing recipes as I learned to cook, and people, you know, after a couple of months I shared it with my mum and with some of my friends, and they shared it with some friends, and in the first 6 months I had 100,000 hits, so it was really small. I mean, I think that was my mum.
That's great.
Refreshing it, yeah.
So I'm just wondering, how did that feel for you when you started to realise you were having this snowball effect?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite surreal, to be honest. I still don't think I totally get it. I still find it quite weird, you know, like every now and again I'm walking down the street and I saw one of our energy ball wrappers on the street, and I was like, someone bought that and they ate it, and I made it. And it's a quite I don't know if you ever get used to the fact that people are so connected to it, but at the same time, like, it's still an amazing feeling, because, you know, people are so lovely, and the community of Deliciously Ella is just the kindest group of people I've ever met. Every now and again you do have moments, and anyone who starts their own business will feel that, or like works really hard, that you're just like, God, why am I doing this? It's hard. And then you get messages like that, and you're like, well, this is why, because this is completely amazing, and there's kind of no greater privilege than that.
For sure. So real moments of gratitude.
Yeah,
for what you're doing.
Really is.
So in terms of your business in comparison to other startups, how would you say that you're separated? What makes you guys different in what you do?
Yeah, it's funny that, I mean, I think really what differentiates us was a complete accident, if I'm completely honest. I want to say it was all a genius plan, but it wasn't. It was the fact that it started as a really personal blog, where I had nothing better to do, because I was on my own most of the time, than reply to everyone. So like, if you send me an email, it's like, oh my God, great to hear from you.
Amazing.
Like, all my new best friends online, and that's how it started. And it started with that real purpose and sense of mission, and had therefore an authenticity. It never existed to make money or be famous or any of the rest of it. And I think because of that, it's got, I like to think, I feel like Deliciously has a kind of soul in it, because it has such a reason for being. You know, my passion and why I'm here is I want to inspire people to eat better. You know, I read recently 27% of the UK eat their 5 a day. That's because it's mostly really boring. We need to change that. We need to get people excited about broccoli. You don't need to only eat broccoli, but you're only going to eat broccoli if it's delicious. So let's fry it with chili and garlic, or roast it with like a miso sesame dressing, or like there's so much.
Lovely.
I love that. But there's so much we can do, and that's why we exist. And I think it's exciting because it allows us to have such scope about all the things we can do, from our books, apps, social media, amazing collaborations with other great brands, and then our products and our sites. And
so you have so much going on, as you've just explained. I guess it'd be really interesting for people to know how do you manage to stay headstrong with all of this noise around you going on with your brand?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's interesting because I've had moments where you just have so much going on and you turn into a headless chicken, you're a little bit frantic, and then I realise I'm not helping anyone with that. It's not a positive thing. Feeling good is so much more than just what's on your plate, and I got really committed to taking care of myself again, and I got really back into my yoga, which I really was into when I wasn't very well, and it was a big part of it, and I've pretty much every day since then I go every morning, even when I don't want to go, and it creates a really positive headspace for me.
So what advice would you give to somebody who wanted to turn their own blog into a thriving business like your own?
I mean, I think there's so many different aspects. You have the really boring aspects, or not boring, but functional and important aspects of, which is why I really needed a business partner, and what I was doing is ensuring, it's brilliant to have something people are engaged and they're excited about, but if you can't calculate your finances properly, you're going to go out of business. And then I think the most important thing is doing something that feels kind of, I know it's quite cheesy, but authentic to you. What is it that you're really passionate about? What is it that you can really drive? How can you do something that's different to everyone else?
With the rise of so many female entrepreneurs at the moment, how do you feel being part of this amazing movement?
I think it's really exciting, and it wasn't something that I realised I would be really excited about until I started our business. And it's really amazing number of girls and younger girls that get in touch about that, and that they're really inspired by that and they're excited about that. And I love that because I know I didn't have that ambition, and I'm really close with my brother, my older brother, and he was always going to be the successful one of the two of us, and he's doing really, really well. I don't mean to bring him down, but I was always, Tom's going to be really successful, and I just never thought, well, I could be too. I could start a company, I could do that. And I think, someone said to me the other day, and I thought so brilliant, they're you can't be what you can't see. If you don't have these people in front of you, giving you ideas, giving you inspiration, being well, if I can do that too, it's hard to envision that you can. And so I'm really excited to play any role in that, and it's something that I find really humbling and really exciting to be a part of. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
More kind of how you manage your business and your personal life.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all about balance, so I guess I'm going to have to ask the question, what is your work-life balance?
It's a funny question, that, and in many ways I guess this could be a kind of wrong answer, if you can have such a thing as a wrong answer. But when we first started working together, we saw this really exciting opportunity in front of us. We both kind of said, look, this is going to be really busy, we're going to have to really go for it, the time is now. And with that, instead of having a kind of set work-life balance, we were we need work-life integration. I love what we do more than anything. It's the thing that I'm most excited about. It's the biggest part of my life. Maybe that's a bit sad, but there we go. And this is our time. And so, if I said, oh well, I won't do this after this time, or I won't do this and I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to check my emails while I'm on holiday, this doesn't work. It's not feasible when you've got, when you're with you and there's all these people, that we've taken the responsibility of bringing into the team, and I think we both really feel that sense of responsibility. They need to be paid every month, they need to be looked after, they need to have really amazing career prospects, and we want to create something big, and so
to be extremely flexible.
Yeah, and I think I read one of those kind of quotes online the other day that said create a life you don't need a holiday from. And now we all need rest. Rest is, I do think it's really important, and it clears your mind and gives you new inspiration, but at the same time, I do think there's an element of you should be excited. Not everyone enjoys every part of what they do. No one, there's a bit of admin involved in everything, but you should be excited, generally speaking. And I think if you say you're passionate and you're really excited, you don't crave the kind of silence and break from it in the same way.
Totally understand that, absolutely. So I guess, we're really excited to know what you've got in the pipeline next. What's coming up?
So we're working on a lot. I think the thing I'm most excited about is our new book.
Good. Always keep them busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Really love to find out if you could give somebody 3 pieces of advice to be the best version of yourself, what would they be?
3 pieces of advice to be the best version of themselves. I think the first is, and I think it's really good advice no matter what you're doing, but I think being optimistic is really important. Trying to be as grateful as you can be for everything that happens on a day-to-day basis. And then I think the third thing would be like in amongst everything, I think finding time for yourself is really, really important. And I think I was saying earlier, like that's what yoga's done for me.
Great answers, thank
Brilliant.
you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and last but not least,
Yeah.
are you looking forward to Balance Festival?
Yeah, of course. Can't wait. It'll be amazing.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ella. Much
Thank you.
appreciated. It's
Thank
great
you.
to